The Capcom situation. Oh yeah, we gotta look at this. I've heard so much bad stuff about Capcom because they have been trying after the tournament where there was a Street Fighter tournament where somebody had the Chun-Li naked mod on it. It sort of modding has come to Capcom's attention, and they just rushed anti-piracy software onto their games, which was not made pre-decision of creating the game. They just put it on later on, and they've added it to a lot of their old titles, and it's been going really bad and sucks actually for the community. But I've heard this about them, people thinking that there's malware attached to it, and there's like made by some one Russian guy or something. But let's take a look at it.
It's been getting heat for a while over their anti-modding stance.
I haven't played this game in so long. We gotta get our server one day back up and play this. V Rising. It's been a long time.
And things have only been getting
we did it as
much
a community. We played that ages
over
ago.
The last few days.
We
With
finished
Capcom
everything.
Getting a ton of backlash over a disappointing Spy Family Street Fighter promotion. But even worse, news of them adding DRM to some of their games in their goal of stopping mods and piracy. But it turns out many users report this DRM harmed performance and even included malware. When voicing concerns, the provider even issuing extremely unprofessional responses directly to concerned players. We'll go over all of that in this video. 3 days ago, they posted this video, Street Fighter 6 Spy Family Code White Collaboration, where they showcase Yor from Spy Family in Street Fighter. That's Chun-Li, but you know, Yor, she's somewhere here, you can see. Okay, so we got Yor.
There she is.
Except we don't really, because this is just actually a skin. And this has got Capcom a ton of backlash from players saying that they're all anti-modding, but they did something that modders could have done way more efficiently and way more quickly, and that they should have just made a whole new character.
No, V Rising costs money. It's a box office game.
Congratulations, Capcom. You did what a team of modders could do in a week.
Oh, is that why everybody's mad? I was confused because I heard that people are mad about Yor just being a skin, but I'm like, wasn't certain. Why would you be mad about the skin? Were you expecting that much a new character to be played? Did they put the perception wrong? Did people perceive it wrong? What happened? But it's tied to because of their DRM situation. Oh, that makes way more sense.
I love more the concept art than the execution.
Skin is trash too. Yeah.
Actually, have put Yor Forger in the game. It would have been so sick. It would have been a nice surprise if Yor was a playable character with their own moveset. I never knew Jury was into cosplaying. Really wishing we could have gotten a fully animated short film of Yor vs Chun-Li like the initial teaser. Thanks for not failing to disappoint. That's just a simple skin that modders can do. If you can't make yours a full character, why even bother? I hope one day they realize the Avatar stuff is not what people want. So they're already getting backlash for that. And things just get worse for them.
I think this is really bad. And I want to tell you why. Capcom has always been a massive publisher. They've made amazing games. But I'm going to be honest. I think 2023 and 2024 has made a massive rise in their game with Street Fighter 6 being super popular. And also Monster Hunter having a massive spike these days. I think them taking these practices into account is such a big blow because they have received God's given gift of them being mainstream. And if they're going to blow it all out with DRM, I think it's going to be really bad for them in the long term because at the moment, Street Fighter and Monster Hunter are pretty big and like mainstream games. Both of those titles were popular and very popular in the past, but they had their niche audiences. At least Street Fighter, it's a fighting game. It had a niche audiences, and same with Monster Hunter. A lot of people that haven't given it a try, never tried it out, never not really been that interested. But now Monster Hunter and Street Fighter are so big into both streaming and content creators and just generally the general gamer are taking a look at them, trying them out for the first time. If they're going to start doing things that are anti-consumer practice related, like things like DRM and making things harder for modders and stuff like that, and making their reputation bad after having the gift of the publicity they're receiving now, then I think I think it's so dumb. I think it's so tragic as well, because there's not often two games like this from the same company get so much advertisements as they are doing right now. It's I don't know what they're thinking, but I know it's related to the thing is that Japanese people are very traditional, and the way they communicate and understand things from the West are completely different from how we do it. And that's why they don't really, most of the time, they don't really understand why this is bad. They see this as something good, and they will not really translate or read all of the feedback that are received from the West. So the only question is, how does the Japanese audience take this? Because these titles have already been super popular in Japan, but at least Monster Hunter. But in Japan, you have both Tekken and Street Fighter. But now in the West, I think Street Fighter is the most popular fighting game there is because of Street Fighter 6. And I think they will have such a massive blow if they don't like remove this and take the community, or have like a spokesperson to see how things are from the West. And I'm very interested to see how this will develop further on, because again, it's such a shame. It's a real big shame. DRM will push people to piracy long term because of DRM fucks your PC and bloat. Yeah, it's bad performance. DRM things are often really just badly made, and it's just not great. I personally hate DRM. I don't like it. I don't buy games with DRM. So yeah.
Bounding into comics writes, an escalation of anti-modding crusade. Capcom now adding Enigma DRM to PC catalog. Buckle up, players. The fight over your consumer rights is about to heat up. Just months after declaring war on the entire concept of video game modding, Capcom has been found to be undertaking a concentrated effort to add a new form of digital rights management software to their back catalog of PC titles. This attempt by the Street Fighter series developer to restrict the way in which customers could interact with their purchased products was first brought to public attention by way of a surprise January 5th update made to Steam copies of 2013's Resident Evil Revelations. Perplexed as to why the 11-year-old title had suddenly received this unannounced patch, users soon took to parsing its contents for any information as to its reason for being. We can see some Steam posts here with people talking about this Enigma Protector. Keep that in mind, because that's going to be a very important thing as we continue through this video. With Enigma even responding to players' feedback in a very unprofessional manner, and Capcom getting a ton of criticism for working with Enigma, and Enigma getting a ton of backlash for Enigma itself, as well as, like I said, the responses that they're issuing to people. Soon thereafter, as documented on the game's official Steam community forum, players discovered that while it did provide a fix for a previous functionality issue regarding Revelations' Jill Samurai Edge Weapon DLC, this minor quality of life update was little more than a Trojan horse for the Enigma Protector, described by its website as a tool with which companies can use to protect their program run files from illegal copying, hacking, modification, and analysis to be added to the game. Making matters worse for Capcom was the fact that, like many such shadow installations of DRM software, more than just clamping down on consumer rights, the introduction of Enigma into Revelation's inner workings also produced a stability issues within the game itself, including frame rate drops, random crashes, and broken graphical options. See another post here. What the heck? Ultra wide resolutions, stereoscopic 3D, and FOV adjustments are all broken now. Faced with significant and understandable backlash to their decision, Capcom eventually reversed course on their decision, announcing on January 9th that, due to an issue observed with the latest update release, we have reverted the corresponding update. We apologize for the inconvenience caused, and once the issue is resolved, we will re-release the update, they added. Thank you very much for your patience and cooperation. However, the Revelations managed to wrestle a temporary stay of death by Enigma from the hands of Capcom. It was soon discovered that it was far from the first of the developer Steam's titles to have received this treatment since initially being released to the digital retail platform, as evidenced by user reports and the direct notion in each game's respective patch notes of recent modifications made to their executable files affected releases, all of which have yet to have the DRM removed. And a list of games right there. If you want to go ahead and pause and take a look at all of that. And continuing. Notably, this development comes just a little under 6 months after Capcom publicly revealed their disdain for the practice of modding. They had said back in October of 2023 at a Capcom Open conference, all mods are defined as cheats, except when they are officially supported, and thus what modders are doing internally is no different than cheating. Elaborating.
What do you care about cheating? Like, they're not making massive multiplayer MMOs or FPSs. They're making fighting games and couch gameplay and monster hunting and single player experiences where you go in mansions of zombies. What do you care about cheating? What does cheating have to do with anything? All of their games are couch gameplay. I don't understand. And if cheating is issue in online gameplay, if you're like co-oping and like, let's say you like match with random individuals, then do what From Software does and just ban people off your online services if that's the case. If that's what you worry about. From Software is a Japanese company. If they are fine with having a few moderators just or a system check for cheats like that, why can't you do that? I'm not sure why they care about. I don't understand why single player game care about cheating. Like, it's a single player game, you buy the game, you do whatever you want. Who cares?
On this declaration, Yahagi explained, mods are popular with users because they allow them to add or change various features to an existing game. However,
and also add more content to it. They also allow adding you a lot more content. I think the best games out there, all of the best games out there are allowing mods and allowing people and the community to add extra layers of gameplay to it. You know the blessing of all of the Souls game? It's not the fact that nearly all of them are masterpieces, crafted to perfection, and there's so much beauty in every single detail and all there is to it. It's the fact that they allow even the player base to mod and create whatever the hell they want in the game, ending up with massive mods, filling up huge content patches and enjoyable gameplay that allows you to re-enter the game and enjoy it in a different way. Removing mods are such a dumb thing to do. It's like taking a practice in game design that a lot of people try to achieve to make the perfect game and just say, nah, we want to make shit. We don't want this. And just straight up take it away.
For the purpose of anti-cheat and anti-piracy, all mods are defined as cheats. That is to say that mods that are not officially supported by the game are impossible to distinguish from cheat tools, implementation-wise. The full quote goes on quite a bit longer, but we're just going to skip ahead because it all essentially boils down to mods bad. The article also mentioned massive backlash that they received on Resident Evil Revelations. So let's check out some of the Steam reviews there.
This was so easy.
Before we move on to the next part of the video.
I think I like killed these two bosses like in a few hits. I remember when I was fighting this shit, dude, they were so easy.
Added DRM to an 11-year-old game. Screw Capcom. This is the second downgrade in
all
recent years.
mods bad.
First, Jill's weapon. Now this malware Enigma. Looks like Capcom hates their fans putting DRM on a 10-year-old game. Capcom is adding a mod blocking DRM that is also known to cause performance issues to this, a 10-year-old game, and to other of their games. This is stomach-turning behavior, and no one should reward nor tolerate this. Check out this last one here. Actually, let's see how long this is.
Imagine adding a DRM to a 10-year-old game.
Capcom added
like
again,
you can't get a non-DRM version.
And performance-consuming Enigma DRM that limits users to mod the game as they believe it damages their brand. For crying out loud, this game came out in 2012 and decided it would be best to put DRM in an old title. Worrying about their sales and their brand reputation is the least of their worries. Congrats, Capcom. Bunch of
I think this is worse for their brand and reputation than people being able to mod, honestly.
Who can't let us have fun. Heck, they don't even show support for their old games, since most mods are there to patch various old Capcom titles, while Capcom leaves their games collecting dust with bugs and poor controls for keyboard and mouse. It's only a matter of time where games are not fun anymore, thanks to every company incorporating DRMs. And yeah, once again, although now we're taking a look at IGN, just the headline, Capcom quickly rolls back Resident Evil Revelations DRM update after Steam review bombing. However, that's hardly the end of the...
I say this every time, but I hate Steam bombing. I hate protests. When people are giving eligible reviews to their product, whenever people try to downgrade the response by calling it protest or bombing. I wish titles would just stop using those words. It's so annoying.
The situation. Because remember DRM Enigma itself? Well, let's take a look at this. PC Focus saying on Twitter.
That's what I'm saying. This is valid criticism. This is a proper review.
Capcom started to add this DRM to their old games. All behind this company is so shady. It's developed by a Russian company with no name or address and sold through a website which domain name was paid for through a front based in Moscow, Russia.
How could you do that?
Capcom has a history of deceptively installing malware in people's computers. Don't play any game with this DRM. And including this screenshot right here, along with their post.
I'm about to play Monster Hunter Rise later. Does Monster Hunter Rise have this dog shit? Because I am playing that if this has this dog shit.
Then going on to list other Capcom games that are apparently using the DRM Enigma, including Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6, and various Mega Man games
thank God.
Well. And so people began inquiring to Enigma about all of this. And PC Focus saying, very professional response from the Enigma devs. The company that
personally,
Capcom
I'm a big fan of review bombing. Sometimes it's useless, but most of the time it's justified. No, you don't get it. So the point is that what I'm trying to say is that people belittle whenever a user base is posting negative reviews in waves by using the term review bomb or saying basically review protest. Because now you're putting it as a negative cause that now the user is at fault. But whenever users are giving valid reviews of changes or to the game itself that are negative, then it's directly focused on the game or the company itself. It's framing a different perspective that you don't want to frame because now you made the user at fault instead of the company. Now it has a fault that is unrelated to the company. So I absolutely hate the views of review bombing and review protests because it absolutely belittles the user the user experience and how they feel about the product and changes.
From their forum.
These reviews are they are eligible, they're honest, and it's the personal feeling of the user and the consumer base itself. But whenever you use these terms, you remove their complete integrity and their feeling toward their game, and just look at it as a protest, as a way to just spam negative reviews.
You can see this post where it looks like Enigma responds. Curious. This is responding to game performance drops. Curious. What action do you need from us? And why do you blame us that someone use our software? Someone use. We do not push to use it. What is our guilt, you think? And why are you so sure that all that you reported belongs to our software? Maybe you are so angered.
Wasn't it a topic in your video? Yeah, it was a topic in one video. Everything I said in that video, I have strong feelings for, and I've talked about this before. Like all my opinions I put in that video about reviews. I made a video about like how I feel about just generally reviews itself and how useless they are. But that was one of my opinions in that review video.
Bruh.
I should make more videos like that. I gotta really sit down one day and make it. Whenever I'm done with like all of these small things I'm doing here and there, I gotta sit down and write one. I'm gonna talk next video I'm talking about is how big microtransactions are changing the development and the design of all your games and how bad it actually is.
Good job, Capcom, working with these guys. Good job.
It's gonna be fun.
Responses to that stuff on Twitter saying, I don't understand how talking down to customers has become so prevalent in the industry, like having actual concerns with a business is somehow taboo enough to warrant publicly trying to shame people. Why do you blame us that someone used our software? Spoken truly like a tech support scammer. Glad they're infiltrating game studios now. Our Capcom also talking about this. You can see the screenshot from before. And this user saying, the DRM called Enigma Capcom is going to add to their back catalog of games has 34 virus.
Oh yeah, I will talk about Riot.
I recommend updating your Capcom games. It's also
don't worry about that. I'm going to talk about Riot.
Zero company attached to it, all just to screw over modders. Shady as heck. The OP also saying it also breaks Steam Deck compatibility. Thanks again, Capcom. It also
actually that's the thing people don't talk about. You can't now because of the DRM. You can't use the Steam Deck anymore to play the games because you know what? It's a transformative. It's a transformative game when you're trying to run it on your Steam Deck.
20 FPS. Thanks, Capcom. It also supposedly accesses more of your PC than it should, and there's a high chance it collects data as well. And that's pretty much where it stands right now. So I'll wrap this segment up here. What a mess, huh? Man, it really sucks that games companies are making more than ever these days, yet somehow so many of them are just getting involved with worse and worse practices. As always, thank you for tuning in.
They're working backward.
Appreciate you and your time, and consider letting me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and or subscribing.
I like this video. This is a good, he put up all the points and it was pretty good. Overall, I think it's really bad because like, I feel like the most common practice in sale is to make things as easily accessible as possible for users, as enjoyable as they could ever be, and not put a lot of things making it harder for the user to enjoy and take it like just generally like change or do. You paid for the product. You should be able to mod it if you wish. Doesn't really make sense. But yeah, I hope Capcom backpedals on this, and whoever are the spokesperson for the West in Capcom decides to look at all of these reviews and all of these arguments and make sure that they understand that they should not be bothered by by mods in general. Let's hope it goes well. Yep.